RadarReacts, the new Nintendo Direct just was streamed, and there's a ton of crazy news. I'm Hollander Cooper. Here with me is
Greg Henniger,
Ryan Telgernick.
And Nintendo's Nintendo Direct things are just getting bigger and better than ever. So let's jump right into what I think is the biggest story. Nintendo sort of eased into it. They did like one more thing, and it's that there's a legitimate sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the 3DS.
Sequel.
They said it's a sequel.
Okay.
It's a new game. Yeah, it's fully 3D. They're actually using the old school like 1990s like brown hair Link.
Oh yeah.
And what's up with the thing where like he can turn into a
so if you look at the game, they said they and we interviewed somebody from Nintendo like 2 years ago, and they said that one of the things that makes Link to the Past a game that would probably work well on the 3DS is there's lots of levels on top of levels, which works well with the 3D.
Sure.
So a majority of the game you'll be just looking down, like hitting buttons and jumping to other levels, where if you have the slider on, it's going to be a really cool thing. They're actually going to be releasing a trailer onto the eShop so you can see how it looks in 3D.
But
you can also sort of super like Paper Mario style go like hieroglyphic onto the wall and travel around on a 2D plane.
Corners.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird, but it's really interesting, and it's coming out this year.
Right.
So that's
holiday season.
A big thing. A lot of the games they announced coming out this holiday season.
That's good.
They have not announced the launch timing of the other game they announced, Yoshi's Island. A new Yoshi's Island game is also coming out. Also, it's a 3DS game. It's in full 3D, but it's a 2D platformer, and it looks a lot like the first Luigi. It's early in the morning, folks. Bear with us. The first Yoshi's Island game. Listen, this was the year of Luigi, which is why I keep bringing up Luigi. And despite that, they announced so much Yoshi stuff.
Yeah.
Sequel,
all the babies return.
So in the original, there was only Baby Mario, and it looks so far they've only showed off Baby Mario. We wrote up an article about something if there was ever a new Yoshi's Island, we'd want it to just be Baby Mario.
Don't we?
So we're just kind of hoping just Baby Mario. It complicates things when you have too many.
Doesn't he make an awful squeal?
Yeah, but babies do that. Babies are terrible.
True. That's true.
They are the worst.
So other announcements. So they had already said that Donkey Kong Country Returns is coming to the 3DS, but now they're saying that there's going to be more levels, like a whole new world, and new mode, which is easy mode.
Sure.
Which that game desperately needed.
Well, and I'm glad that it's coming to 3DS, because for me that's such a more I probably won't sit there and play it on my TV. Like on the 3DS is the perfect place for me to play that kind of thing.
And the issue with the game for many people, I personally just couldn't stand it because I felt like it was too punishingly hard. Like it was trying to harken back to the old days too much. And that mode is still going to be there, but there's also a new mode which just gives you more lives and more items.
Awesome.
But they said that it's not just to make it easier. It's just because it's like realistically, who wants to sit on the bus and replay the same level over and over again?
Yeah.
Like you want to progress, and that's what that mode is for.
And they added a ton of new levels or something?
I think and I don't think a ton, but there's a new you go to different worlds. I think there's 8 new levels at least, but they all take it. And the old game did a really good job again of having depth. Like you'd be in the foreground and you'd jump into a cannon, it would shoot you into the background.
Yeah.
Mutant Mudds did that on the 3DS. It was a downloadable game, and it was like when it first happened, like when you transferred, like you're used to seeing stuff in the background, and when you actually transfer to the background in a 3D game, it is super cool.
Yeah.
And that game's going to take advantage of it.
Nice.
They also talked more about Minis on the Move, which is a downloadable game coming out May 9th. Animal Crossing's getting a hardware bundle. So Mario Golf, which they announced at the February Nintendo Direct, is going to have like a crazy robust multiplayer where you'll be able to like create challenges. Because it's the year of Luigi, they're like, you could say everyone has to complete this course as Luigi in this many shots and stuff. So that looks cool. So Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, which is the Pokemon Red Blue of the Zelda world. They have more things to them than that. Like you have to beat both of them to get the true ending kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that's coming to the eShop.
Pikmin 3 got a release date, right?
August 9th.
Yes, August 9th for Pikmin 3.
Yeah.
Mario Party for the 3DS is coming out.
I'm excited about that.
Dude, me too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mario Party's a great...
And they really played up... They acted like it was something new, but every Mario Party, or at least the recent ones, have all had like super different levels. But they said that these are going to be even more different. They used an example of one where it's like you... half of the things you're doing is screwing up other people by like shooting cannons at them and stuff.
Nice.
So that looks cool. New Professor Layton is coming out in 2014. Level 5 and a bunch of other companies are making like mini downloadable games. They're all out in Japan, but they're coming out in America. New Super Luigi U, they talked more about. So if you haven't seen that, essentially it's DLC, but it's sort of a remake for New Super Mario Bros. U, where it's only single player, but they've redone every single level.
That's a lot of work.
It's essentially a new game.
Yeah.
Except it just uses the old overworld. And trying to think. Oh, the other huge news that I legitimately was blown away by was Nintendo of America, for the first time in maybe 20 years, has acknowledged the existence of Earthbound.
Not only that, but it's
coming to America. Like, it came to America on the Super Nintendo, and then because I've heard rumors that some people at Nintendo just don't freaking like Earthbound, number one. Number two, there's websites dedicated to showing all of the reasons Earthbound can't come out in America now. Most of them related to the fact that, like, the music in the games is just blatantly ripped off of licensed music. Like, it's its own style. It's meant to be sort of a parody, but you'll just, like, walk into a room and, like, or enemies each have their own music, and one of them's music will just be, like, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, except played with, like, a different tone, but it's totally that.
Yeah, that complicates things.
But so I don't know exactly how they're going to handle it. Maybe they're just throwing money at the wall. But if you have a heart or half of a heart, you have to buy Earthbound so that maybe Mother 3 will eventually come out in America.
Maybe.
Probably
never.
And the system update through let me see if it's on here. The system update for the Nintendo, the Wii U, is coming next week, which is a big deal because besides the fact that it's going to cut loading times down, it's also going to come with the day after the system update is going to have the virtual console on the Wii U finally.
Yeah.
And what you'll be able to do is have off-screen play if you spend an extra $1 per game, which even the games you've already bought, but you're essentially buying off-screen play and access to the Miiverse for those games, so you can chat with people.
Well, obviously, I'll spend that $1.
Yeah, it's $1. I mean, you already if you haven't bought the games, they just cost $1 more now.
Right.
And if you did buy them, you could just go play them in the Wii.
Are they 99 cents like the apps, like an app store? Or are they like a single $1?
It's $1.
99 cents looks more attractive.
It is, but it's not. What else? I'm trying to. There's so much stuff.
Game and Wario.
Game and Wario. June 23rd release date. We're actually going to have some coverage of that up in the near future.
Nice.
And Bravely Default, a Final Fantasy style sort of Square Enix game. Except there's a sort of the thing about that game is you can not take your turns to do more damage. That's coming in 2014. And I can't even think of anything. There's so much stuff, and it was only like 25 minutes. And this was actually one of the smaller Nintendo Directs.
Right.
So that's it for the Year of Luigi press conference part 2 for Nintendo's thing. And you can find coverage on all of these ridiculous things we talked about and plenty more on GamesRadar.com.
Direct in February, we are broadcasting this Nintendo Direct simultaneously worldwide. Thank you for joining us today.